Shroomraver here, and welcome back to the Nickname Academy. This, of course, is the series where I'm going to go through every single Pokemon right the way from Bulbasaur through to Zeraora and give them all nicknames. And once Gen 8 comes out, which is going to be later this year, of course, I'm going to do them all as well. Now, we are well into Gen 2 in terms of nicknaming, and last we left off was with Apom, so let's get right cracking on with the next one on the list, which is going to be Sunkern. One of the lowest base stat total Pokemon of all time, I think. Possibly the lowest, I'm not sure. Either way, Sunkern is going to be called Titanic, which is kind of a misnomer given that Sunkern's tiny and that Titanic was a giant ship. But the reason we're going to call it Titanic is because of the terrible sinking of the Titanic in 1912. So the Titanic right now is sunken. It's a sunken ship, and Sunkern is Sunkern. So there we go. Sunkern is Titanic. Very simple one there. Moving swiftly on to its evolution, which is of course going to be Sunflora. Sunflora is going to be called Van Gogh. Van Gogh? I don't really know how you pronounce that. Is it Vincent Van Gogh or Vincent Van Gogh? Normally I'd say Goth, but I think it's Go. Either way, that's going to be the nickname because, of course, of Vincent Van Gogh. We're going to call him Van Gogh from now. His very famous painting, Sunflowers. One of his most famous paintings of all time. I think I once did that in an art class. We had to recreate one of his paintings. I think I did the sunflower one. Either way, Sunflower is one of his most famous paintings, and Sunflora is a sunflower. Once again, very, very simple indeed. Next up on the list is going to be Yanma. Yanma is going to be called Basils Bet. A strange one here, and it's named after something in Fawlty Towers. Fawlty Towers was a comedy series way back in the day with, oh god, what's his name? John Cleese. John Cleese plays Basil Fawlty, the owner of a rather crappy bed and breakfast hotel kind of deal. There's an episode of that where he goes to bet on the horses and his wife's not very happy about it. And there's this whole series where he's trying to mime the name of the horse he bet on to one of his members of staff behind his wife's back so that he can try and get away with not being the one who went to bet on it. But the horse is called Dragonfly. So Basil's Bet was on a horse called Dragonfly, and of course, Yanma, what else is it? It's a dragonfly. So there we go. Yanma is going to be called Basils Bet. Now, next up we have Wooper. Wooper, confusing one, Wooper. Gets Ice Punch, no arms, but there we go. Wooper's going to be called Celebrator because, you know, if you whoop with glee, you're celebrating something. So if you are one who whoops, you are a whooper, you are a celebrator. So Wooper is going to be called Celebrator. Nice and simple, easy. After Wooper, of course, Wooper evolves into Quagsire. Had a bit of trouble with this one. One of the most recent ones that I managed to find a nickname for. Quagsire is going to be called Minecraft. I play a bit of Minecraft now and then, mostly Pixelmon, but I want to get back into Minecrafting itself. Why is Quagsire called Minecraft? Well, there are many, many skins that you can give your Minecraft character when you are playing. And I was looking various ones up, and I discovered one which is all blue and has a kind of weird derpy face. It's called Blue Derp, is the name of the skin, and Quagsire is blue and very derpy. So there we go. The skin Blue Derp coming from Minecraft, giving Quagsire its nickname of Minecraft. There we go. Then we have the evolutions. They come next. First off, of course, Espeon. Espeon is going to be called Projector. Kind of a weird one here. And again, coming from my research of various companies around the UK, there is a company that creates and sells projector screens. Very, very specific sales pitch they've got going on there. But there is a projector screen company, weirdly, called Purple Cat. And Espeon, essentially, is a purple cat. It's kind of a cat. I don't know whether you'd class the evolutions as cats or foxes, but they're feline in general. So, yeah, Espeon is going to be Projector after Purple Cat, the projection company. After that, of course, we have Umbreon, the nighttime version of those day-night evolutions. Umbreon's going to be called Wes, and this is named after a gentleman by the name of Wes Powers. Now, who is Wes Powers? Well, he is or was, I'm not sure, a video game creator or developer, or certainly player, and he created a level in a certain game. It's a level in a game called Chips Challenge. I've never played it. It's an Atari Lynx game, so a bit before my time. But he created a level in this game called Chips Challenge, and the level was called Annoying Wall. I'm not entirely sure how the level within the game functions, but either way, it's called Annoying Wall, and what do we know Umbreon for? It's very much one of the most annoying walls in Pokemon at the moment, or ever. So yeah, Umbreon is named Wes after the creator of Annoying Wall, because that's what it is. After Umbreon, we have, ladies and gentlemen, my favourite Pokemon of all time, Murkrow. So I wanted to give Murkrow a good name, because it is my favourite Pokemon. I decided to call it Offspring. So my favourite Pokemon is named after something to do with one of my favourite bands. It's named after my favourite band, or one of them. Offspring, one of my all-time favourite bands from way back in the day. And it's named Offspring because of the Offspring song Original Prankster, one of their earlier works. And Murkrow is the first Pokemon in the National Dex to get the ability Prankster. So in general, it is the original Prankster of Pokemon. So yeah, that's why we're going to call Murkrow Offspring. Next up, after Murkrow, we have Slowking. Slowking is going to be called Henry VIII. Now, Henry VIII, a very famous king of England from the 16th century, famous for having 6 wives and also for being, shall we say, rather portly in figure. Yeah, he was a very large king, certainly towards the end of his life. So yeah, he didn't really move around very quickly. He was a pretty slow king. And there we go. Henry VIII was a slow king, so that's why Slowking's called Henry VIII. Very nice and simple. Then we have the next Duskstone evolving Pokemon that gets its Duskstone evolution in Gen 4. That is going to be Mistress. Mistress is going to be called 5CL. Now the reason for this is 5 centiliters is a unit of a term of measurement. If you've ever been in a hotel that has like a mini bar or something, they have those little miniatures, the sort of little miniature bottles of alcohol, mini spirit, stuff like that, and their general measurement is 5 centiliters. So it's like a sort of little spirit, and Mistress is a small ghost, so it is a little spirit. So its measurement is going to be 5CL, and that's why the nickname is going that way. Mistress. After that, we have Unknown. Possibly one of the most useless Pokemon of all time. I think it's the most useless Pokemon ever. Rubbish competitively. You never see it used in playthroughs. It only gets one move, Hidden Power. It's weak as hell. And even its storyline stuff with the letters and getting them all doesn't really give you anything in-game. Unknown is going to be called Prosper. This is named after an author called, I think I'm saying this right, Prosper Mérimée? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. You've got accents on many of the E's. Prosper Mérimée is an author who wrote a piece called Letters to an Unknown. And Unknown is a Pokemon that has many forms, all of which, or most of which, are letters. So Letters to an Unknown, written by Prosper Mérimée, that's why Unknown is going to be called Prosper. Very simple when you think about it. Next up, we have Wobbuffet. A lot of these Pokemon are kind of very gimmicky stuff, you know, Unknown, Wobbuffet, all this kind of stuff. Wobbuffet is going to be called RDX. Now, this is named, again, after a company. A lot of my Pokemon seem to be that way. It's named after RDX, the company. Now, what does this company make? Well, they make gym equipment. Among other things, they make punching bags, and a lot of the punching bags they make, the colour scheme being blue. So they make these blue punching bags, and when you think about it, Wobbuffet, that's exactly what it is. It's a blue punching bag. It just waits for the hits to come to it, and then it uses counter code to hit back the damage. So yeah, Wobbuffet is a blue punching bag. RDX make blue punching bags, so Wobbuffet is going to be called RDX. There you go. Up next we have Giraffe. Giraffe is going to be called Don. Very simple name, again named after a person. This one is named after a gentleman by the name of Don Messick. Now, who is Don Messick? Well, if you've ever seen Dr. Dolittle, everyone remember Dr. Dolittle? Eddie Murphy played Dr. Dolittle in the remakes. He's sort of that veterinarian who can talk to animals. And some of the animals in the Dr. Dolittle universe are fictional. So you've got one that's called the Push Me Pull You. Everyone remember that? It was like the double-headed llama. With, you know, it had a head at either end. And in the early Giraffe rig design, obviously the new one is kind of that giraffe head and the weird like chain chomp kind of tail. But in the original designs, it was very much a two-headed giraffe. The head at the back looked like the head at the front. And it was kind of more based off a llama than a giraffe almost. It certainly looked that way. So the early designs very much looked like the Push Me Pull You from Dr. Dolittle. And Don Messick is the voice actor who voiced the Push Me Pull You in the original, I believe, Dr. Dolittle film. So there we go, Don Messick, the voice of the Push Me Pull You, is going to give his name to Giraffe Rig. Up next we have Pineco. Pineco is going to be called Devon, not named after the county, but named after, again, the company Devon Pine. Now, Devon Pine, well actually no, it's not Devon Pine, the company is just called Devon, but they make wooden furniture. They're a company that makes wooden furniture, often working with pine wood. So, yeah, Devon make pine things. They're basically a pine company. Pineco. Devon Pine, Pineco, Pineco. There we go, Pineco's going to be called Devon. A little bit more of a simplistic reasoning for its evolution, which is of course Fortress. Fortress is going to be called TBS. TBS being an acronym in this case, standing for Taking Back Sunday. Now, for those of you who don't know, Taking Back Sunday are a band. They're a very good band. I used to listen to a lot more than I do now. Kind of came through in the like probably late 90s, early 2000s wave of like pop punk, I would say. But Taking Back Sunday, one of my favourite songs by them is a song called Spin. And, you know, Fortress is like the consummate rapid spinner. It spins, it's what it does. So yeah, Taking Back Sunday have a song called Spin, Fortress spins, Fortress is going to be called TBS Taking Back Sunday because of the spin link. And there we go. Next up we have Dunsparce. Dunsparce, I found very difficult to think of a name for. And you'll remember that I said I'm not naming Pokemon directly after people I know, but people I know can give their name to the reasoning. And this is an instance here. Dunsparce is a land snake Pokemon. It's a snake of sorts, and it's going to be called Scarlet. Scarlet is the name of a pet of a very good friend of mine. You may know her, you may have seen her around on the Twitter universe. Her name's Jessie, she goes by Aesthetic Raptor. She has a pet, wait for this, I'm going to get this right, I'm not looking, but I'm going to get this right. It's a red-tailed boa. She has a pet snake called Scarlet, and Dunsparce is one of her favourite Pokemon. She loves snakes. So Dunsparce is going to be nicknamed Scarlet after that particular snake, which I know in reality exists. So there we go. Dunsparce, couldn't think of anything else. It was very difficult to come up with a name for Dunsparce. Now I thought, I happen to know a snake. I happen to know someone who loves snakes and who Dunsparce is one of their favourite Pokemon. I have a snake called Scarlet, and that's going to be Dunsparce's name. Lovely stuff. Next up, we have Gligar. Gligar is going to be called, now this is a difficult one for me to get right. Panorpidai. I think I'm saying that right. Sometimes I get the pronunciations of my Pokemon nicknames wrong. Gligar is going to be called Panorpidai. I think that's how you say it. Now, why is that? Well, Panorpidai is the genus name of part of the insect family of scorpion flies. Weird fact, the male scorpion fly have enlarged genitalia, which look like a sting, which is why they're called scorpion flies. They're flies, but they look kind of scorpionish. And Gligar is basically, I think it's the Flyscorp Pokemon in the Pokedex, but it's like a flying scorpion, which is just awful stuff. But yeah, it comes from the family Panorpidai, and that's why we're going to nickname Gligar that, because it's basically a scorpion fly, as much as you can have one. So there we go. That's the nickname for that. I think I need to scroll down a little bit. There we go. Next up we have Steelix. Steelix is going to be called Boswell, and once again we're naming it after someone. In this instance, Steelix is going to be named after Chris Boswell. Now, I'm a sort of follower of American football, not massively, and I certainly don't follow the team that this person is a member of. Chris Boswell is a place kicker, number 9 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he's number 9 for the Steelers. You take part of that. 9 in Roman numerals is IX, so he's like Steel IX, because it's Steel number 9, Steel IX forms Steelix. And there we go, that's as good as I get for Steelix. Steelix is going to be called Boswell. That also works, of course, for the Mega Evolution as well. Not much is really changing between the Evolution and the Mega, so we're going to keep the same nickname, Boswell, for both of them. And there we go. Steelix, done. After Steelix, we have Snubbull. Little Snubbull is going to be called Excalibur. And again, very strange reasoning going on here. Excalibur, why is that? Well, there is a company, I believe, called Excalibur. And again, with my companies that I name Pokemon after, they're usually really weirdly specific. And this is no exception, because this company manufactures crossbows. So how does that relate to Snubbull? Well, they have a model of crossbow called a Bulldog. From my research, I found this out. And Snubbull is a Bulldog, kind of. It also kind of works because, do you remember from the anime, there was that reoccurring Snubbull that belonged to a character called Madame Muchmoney, and always dressed up her Snubbull wearing bows. So there's another link again. You've got these crossbows with a model of Bulldog, made by Excalibur, Snubbull being a Bulldog, that always wore a bow, and this is a company that manufactures bows of some description. So there we go. Multiple reasons coming together to form the nickname Excalibur for Snubbull. Snubbull's evolution, and the last Pokemon we're going to be looking at today in this episode is, of course, Granbull. And we've gone from the sublime to the ridiculous here, in one way or the other. Very complicated name for its evolution, but Granbull is simply going to be called James. Very simple name, and this time we're naming it after a fictional character of James Bossentooth, who is a Family Guy character. If you've seen it, you may remember him. It was when I think Chris was transferred to Morningwood Academy, hilariously, where all these sort of rich kids going. And James Bossentooth is a character who has a massively extended lower jaw. Massive, like ridiculously extended, of course. And of course, Granbull has that big underbite going on. So there's the link. Underbite, big jaw, Granbull is going to be called James. So that is it for this episode. We're going to wrap up there. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Always remember to let me know your nicknames for these Pokemon down in the comments below. I absolutely love reading the nicknames that you guys come up with. You have some fantastic ideas. I absolutely love reading about them. So let me know the nicknames you come up with for all these Pokemon. Next time we're going to be kicking off with Quillfish, but as I say, we're going to get out of here. Thank you all very much for watching, and remember, every Pokemon deserves a nickname, so make sure you give them one. Final thank you to everyone for watching, and I guess with that, I'll see you all next time. Laters.